Hello and welcome to the Scum and Villainy Report. As the election results came in, the hosts of The View shared their reactions, offering a lens into their views. Views that many Americans are starting to question. Let's break it down.
Going to be storming the Capitol.
Yes.
You know what gets me? The exit polls showed, according to our research department here at ABC News, the state of democracy was the top issue to voters overall. So that says that they voted for a guy who wanted to overthrow the election, who also said he would be a dictator on day one. And they also said that democracy was number one. So I'm concluding that maybe they don't believe him.
But I think that means, I think it means different things. I think democracy means different things. It means to different people.
Well, when you're trying to overthrow a legitimate election and you say you're going to be a dictator, I don't know how you interpret that any other way.
Democracy.
Frankly. Yeah. So I can only conclude that they don't believe he's going to do that. And I hope they're right. I hope that they are right.
Joy Behar seems puzzled by the fact that, despite the claim that democracy was the most important issue, many voters still supported Trump. She's not alone in this confusion. But here's the thing. For a lot of Americans, democracy is much more than a political slogan. It's about seeing their daily struggles acknowledged. To Behar and others in her bubble, this might seem illogical, but for the everyday voter, it's clear. Voting for Trump wasn't about undermining democracy. It was about rejecting the status quo and choosing a candidate who promised to address their real concerns.
You know, I think it has to do with a lot of things, that being one of them. I'm obviously very disappointed. I'm very sad. I was at the Kamala Harris headquarters yesterday in Washington, and it was a very sad scene. The mood turned immediately, and I tell you, there's a quote I get a lot of inspiration from, and it's a quote that I read when I was reading about John F. Kennedy, and it says, "Whether I am on the winning or the losing side is not the point with me. It is being on the side where my sympathies lie that matters." And that, to me, brought me consolation and inspiration this morning, because I have no regrets.
Yep.
I worked hard as hell to elect the first Black Asian woman president. History slipped through our fingers again. I worked hard as hell for Donald Trump not to be president.
Ana Navarro spoke about how hard she worked to elect the first female Black Asian president. On the surface, that's commendable. Representation is important. But for many Americans, voting based solely on identity doesn't resonate. They want to know what a candidate stands for, how they will improve life for working people, not just who they are. In Navarro's world, electing the first of something seems like a victory. But in the real world, many people are tired of identity politics, overshadowing policies that actually impact them.
I'm surprised at the result, but I'm not surprised. As a woman of color, I was so hopeful that a mixed-race woman married to a Jewish guy could be elected president of this country. And I think that it had nothing to do with policy. I think this was a referendum of cultural resentment in this country.
Well, I think it...
Then there's Sunny Hostin, who shared her personal belief about voting for Kamala Harris, based on her identity as a mixed-race woman married to a Jewish man. But this mindset, while perhaps well-intentioned, is exactly what many voters are rejecting. They aren't interested in voting for someone just because their identity aligns with theirs. It's about qualifications, policies, and leadership. Hostin's position speaks to a privilege that many Americans don't have the luxury of enjoying. The privilege of focusing solely on representation over substance. Despite their emotional appeals and identity-focused arguments, The View hosts still couldn't understand why so many Americans went the other way. Their disappointment reveals an underlying assumption that they represent the voice of the average American. But in reality, their lives and perspectives are vastly different from those of most people who go to work every day, who feel the impact of policies directly, and who aren't living in the bubble of fame and influence. It's time that shows like The View recognize that people are making choices based on their own lives and concerns, not just on the narrative put forward by elite media. If they truly want to understand the American people, they need to step outside of their own circles and engage with people who live outside the world of celebrity and privilege. Thanks for watching. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think The View is out of touch with regular Americans? And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more insights.